Hi, my name is Suzette McFaul. I'm with Stratocom Solutions, and I'm super excited today because it's International Women's Day, and I get to introduce to you someone super special, a woman who is our chief pilot, and she's the chief pilot at Airborne Energy Solutions, and she's really the person who takes care of all of our metering utility companies. She's up there flying, she's training other people to fly, making sure that we're flying in a safe way, that it's timely, and of course, really important, it's accurate. You know, the first thing, hi Andie, I want to know about how did you start? What made you want to become a pilot?
First, hi Suzette, thank you for inviting me. As you know, in aviation, women are a minority, and it's been a top priority to encourage other women to join the aviation industry, to become pilots. So thank you. I first got the bug for flying when I was young. I still remember my dad took me up to Niagara Falls, and we did one of those helicopter tours. And I was maybe 5, 6 years old, and I just loved it. And I remember they put me in the middle, and there's no seatbelt, and the doors are off. And I just loved it. Like, I couldn't get enough of it. Other people, you know, may not like the no door situation, but I just thought that was so. It just continued on from there. I used to watch planes go up, and you know, when we did trips or whatever, I was always like, I want to be up front. I want to be flying this thing. I don't want to be sitting back here. What are they doing up there? I want to check this out. So it was an easy decision for me when I was thinking about, okay, what do I want to do for a career? So, I mean, I had no one in my family in aviation, so it was a bit interesting because I was coming from a place with like zero knowledge of how to go about this. But I figured it out and joined a good program, and then eventually started flying.
Oh, wow. I mean, I think a lot of people have sat in the back of an airplane, but not many of us have sat in the front. That's really exciting. So when did you start becoming a pilot?
Actually, it was a second career choice for me. Not all the people, or maybe people do know this, it's very costly to become a pilot. So I spent some of my early years trying other things out, traveling the world, doing a few different things, and I always just kept coming back to that original, you know, desire to fly since I was a child. And so I actually started this later on in my life. I actually kind of decided, I think, and started all the paperwork around 29. So I'm a little further behind than, you know, some of the 18-year-olds, but it's never too late.
What does the chief pilot do? I mean, I explained, you know, that you're awesome and you're doing all this really cool things, but really, what does that look like in day to day up there?
Chief pilot is defined as a person designated by or chosen by a company to represent their pilots and then approved by Transport Canada. We are responsible for standard operating procedures, training, maintaining safety levels, pretty much everything you can think of, scheduling. There's a lot of office work entailed as well with this, but a lot of the fun part is sort of adapting the pilots that are not used to our aerial survey. So there's a lot of training involved to get the pilots up to a competent level to do those types of things. And I'm sort of there to guide them along and also be their representative. So in safety matters. So if anything's unsafe, because they're ultimately the ones that make the decision to fly or not. But I'm here for them as well, help them, you know, make decisions and grow as a pilot.
Yeah, I mean, safety is such a big issue, right, in airplanes. But on the fun side of things, are you still, like, when you're flying, are you still looking down and going, wow, this is really cool, look at what I'm looking at?
Absolutely. I mean, I didn't take this job because I thought, like, you know, hey, work for the airlines, big money, because that's not how it works in aviation. It's the awe of it. It's getting up and this is my day. I get to spend the day crossing the entire province, going in, you know, in other provinces, sometimes into the States, and just, you know, flying. I mean, how much better does that get?
What's the most difficult decision you've ever had to make as a pilot?
Learning to say no. In the beginning of my career, companies can pressure you to get the job done. I mean, no matter what, we are companies and we're out, you know, they have to pay us, but you have to be able to make that decision yourself when it's not safe. And it's not always what's legal, it's what your comfort level when you're learning and how to say no, because not every company operates, you know, on the same levels. So it's really important to develop those skills early on, when to speak up for yourself, when to say no. There's always another day.
That is such a wise thing to share with people. I imagine it's, you know, it's beyond being a pilot as well. And it's being part of being female, the ability to say no. So what's the best part of flying for Stratocom customers?
That's easy. I mean, we have a really good group of people and good group of customers that have been really good at helping us do what they need the best. And when anything new, when you're trying to incorporate something that was originally done on the ground to something that's in the air, you have two pieces of knowledge that you have to, people who know how to do it on the ground and people who know how to fly. And you need to incorporate the two. And, you know, when we say, hey, you know, it's not good enough today, sorry, the weather's really bad, there's never a question. They okay, we'll try again tomorrow. We'll take a different route at this. And even splitting something up, because we explain to them how we have to come at it because of airspace or time, and they're splitting up their own sections for us so we can fly. I mean, they've been really, really good with us in that way. And so as Stratocom in that way, and developing a more efficient and safe way to do it. And when you're trying to work with customers, and sometimes it's all about, you know, how we want to do it, it can be tough. But it has been a great experience so far with Stratocom and their clients.
What should a girl do if she wants to become a pilot?
See, that's where it was difficult. I was in the same boat. I was starting out, and you can talk to anyone, and most advice will apply to both genders or any gender. When it comes to learning to fly, to become a pilot, I think we're progressive enough. I think, you know, people are becoming more equal in quality when it comes to it. And I don't see a lot of roadblocks. It's more just of a desire and, you know, looking into things, and, you know, families, you know, exposing their young children, saying, these are some of the things you can do. But more when you start to fly is, you know, choosing the right places. And that would be a piece of advice I would have appreciated. That, you know, there's some not so great companies. There's still some old school attitudes, and it's okay if you get there and it's not working for you, then go somewhere else. There's plenty of companies, because you know, people are slowly educating themselves and getting better, but not every place. But I believe it will be interesting.
Andie, you know, any words of wisdom for, you know, young aspiring female pilots?
There's a lot of flight schools and a lot of programs that are right now promoting women in aviation, because women are a minority right now as pilots. Statistically speaking, we're roughly about 5 to 7% of pilots are females, and there are a lot of programs right now trying to encourage women into the industry. And personally, at my old flight school, I volunteered for a program called Girls Can Fly, and then where it gives free flights to young girls. And I know many flight schools actually still promote and do this. And it's a great way as parents to bring your child along and expose them to these things. If you're a young girl, I mean, bug your parents. They're out there, the programs.
Who would have known? I mean, I bet you a lot of people don't realize that.
No,
that is fantastic. Wow. And you volunteer there?
I did back at my old flight school in Southern Ontario, but sadly not here. I'm quite busy.
Yeah. Now you're just going to collect resumes, right?
Exactly. So future female pilots, we need some more females here.
Really, because I love talking to you today. I love spending that time learning a little bit more about what you do. And you're really an inspiration to women. And this is so exciting for us to feature you on International Women's Day. Thank you very much for your time, Andie. And keep flying and keep taking care of us. We love it.
Thank you for having me.